I'm your host, author Brooklyn Dorcent. The Just Right Review not only brings the book to you, but the heart and the soul of the author. I'm super excited, as always, to bring to you today a wonderful young lady, Metisia Wooten. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored. Such a blessing.
It is. Metisia is a member of our writing club, Just Right. We met last year, I want to say towards the end of the year, and you shared with me your writing goals and aspirations. We started working together on her book in January, set a 6-month goal, and you finished the book in May.
In May, yes.
Awesome,
the
awesome,
book was
awesome.
completed in May.
The book is wonderful. This is a book, and y'all excuse my tabs in here because I've been studying it, even though I helped her with it. I've been studying it because it's such good information. And the name of the book is I Can, I Will, I Must, Snatching My Life Back. This book is a tool, it's a self-help guide and a memoir as well. So you share your story, your journey of battling weight loss and how you overcame that,
Yes.
which led to you becoming a fitness coach and a nutritional coach as well. And now you have your own fitness studio, Wooten Fitness, by the way. So today we are delighted. We just have a lot of good information. We're going to review the book.
Okay.
We're not only going to do that, we're going to bring in your sister because you transformed her life. And we're going to have a Zumba demo for you. I'm going to do Zumba. Yes, we are. So stay tuned with us, y'all. Don't go nowhere because this is a lot of good information. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in and introduce you, read your bio, if that's okay.
That's awesome.
All right. So Metisia Wooten is a CEO and founder of Wooten Fitness, and she takes great pride in sharing her love for fitness and how it has enriched her life. Being obese most of her teenage and adult life, Metisia knows the struggles and the health risks it can cause. She shares her journey and road to fitness with any and all that she comes into contact with that seeks a healthier lifestyle. Metisia is a bariatric patient of almost 6 years, as well as a fitness advocate for the WLS participants in and outside of her community, helping them to achieve and maintain healthy eating, fitness as a daily regimen. Metisia knows that nutrition and fitness must work together in conjunction to seeing and maintaining healthy results. And you have seen that.
Yes.
She is also a certified and licensed instructor in a wide variety of fitness platforms. Her love and knowledge of fitness, she allows her work to work with children as well as adults to reach healthier plateaus and to help keep them rising above the obesity statistics. Serves as a nutritional coach, fitness professional, and a health, fitness, and motivational speaker. Not to mention single mom.
Yes.
And holding down a full-time job.
Yes.
So she
multiple things I'm juggling.
Juggling and doing it well though.
Thank you.
Winning.
Thank you. Yes, winning.
And keeping that smile on her face. So I just want to jump right in here because just so much information. You know, the book is small, but it's just packed. You know, the best things I think really are found in small packages. Early on in life, you just enjoyed the taste of good food. And reading some of the things that your mama made, I want to go have dinner at your mama's house.
My mom is an awesome cook.
The food list was going on and on. So you were introduced to Southern cooking very early on. You went to a private school. They had good home cooked meals. So you had a lot of comfort food there for you. But you also experienced some stress in life. So I guess my question would be, what stress did you experience in the home that led you to find comfort in food?
Okay. My stress factors that I experienced when I was growing up was that I grew up in a home where domestic violence was present. And so my escape to break my nervousness and other things that I, felt from being in that type of environment was to eat. Because eating the food was so good, and it helped me relax, and it made me feel good at that time because I was always in a tense mode, and that's a stressor when you have domestic violence in the home.
It's true, and I can relate to that because I grew up also in a domestic violence situation. And there's a lot of anxiety, and you don't know what to expect moment to moment. So you found that eating was a great way to cope with that. My next point would be you, over time, realized that this was some type of emotional eating that was going on, but you didn't realize this later on in life.
I was an adult when I realized it.
It was, but that weight didn't come to you, I would say, until about 9th grade. So it was good in a sense where I was eating, or you were eating and you felt relaxed, and there was no real results that you could see until about 9th grade, when you noticed that you looked at your peers and your size was different from theirs. Could you share with us, at this point in your life, you decided maybe some dieting would be helpful? What was that like for you and your mom when you decided to do that?
My mother was totally against it because my mom didn't want me to start going down the path of dieting. She wanted me to be happy with myself the way that I was. So it was like a tug of war, and I didn't want to really sneak into it. And so I mentioned it to her, and I was, I didn't enjoy going shopping where all my clothes had to be, in a bigger size all the time. And so I wanted to kind of look like my peers. You know how kids can be cruel in school, and you have bullying and different things going on, and I just wanted to fit in and be like everybody else. So I felt like dieting would get me there because I was just looking at the outside, and that the dieting would help me shrink and slim my waistline, and look like all the other girls. So.
And now as a fitness instructor, you say long-term success does not come from dieting.
Right. Those are just fads.
Those are just fads.
And they don't stick. Yes, you can lose the weight really quick, but if you don't have that proper mindset and make it a lifestyle, it won't stick. It'll come right back on 10 times fold.
Yeah, and you experience that.
Yes.
Let's fast forward a little bit into your teen years and your early adult years, because the emotional eating continued. It stemmed from home anxiety, but then it spilled over to relationships. You entered into a romantic relationship. About what age would you say you were?
Oh my goodness, I was in high school, and so everybody goes through your teenage love affair and all of that. But that turned out to be another emotional trigger point for me in high school, and I was already battling with my weight and going through emotional issues at home, and this was just one extra stacking factor, and the relationship turned out to be one that wasn't healthy and good for me. So
reflecting back now, as we were writing the book, you put in the book that you realize now that you had a food addiction. And on page 32 in the book, because I think, as you said, that in dealing with this unhealthy romantic relationship, you really focus in on food to deal with disappointments and things of that nature. So page 32, you give a great description of what food addiction feels like. If you would just read that paragraph for us.
I sure can. Emotional eating provided a release for me, a form of escape from the norm. I used this as a coping mechanism, and it did great harm to me internally. I never realized eating was an addiction like any other addiction. The feeling of satisfaction after every hit of food took me to another place. The food addiction damaged my internal body just as it had been a street drug addiction.
Amazing. Most people don't think about food as a hit. Nope. You think about taking a drink, that's a hit. Taking a shot of something in your arm or a pill is a hit. But putting food in your mouth is also another hit. And that's a powerful thing to think about.
It's a drug addiction just like street drugs. And people don't look at it that way.
They don't look at it that way because you have to eat.
And it can do the same internal bodily harm as any other drug that you take or any alcohol that you drink.
And speaking of that, we want to talk about the turning point for you. Because now you know that there's emotional eating going on. You have an addiction, even though you didn't know it then. Looking back, you know it now. There was also something else going on in your life that was very traumatic. Your dad and his declining health, and you write about that in your book. And shortly before his death, you were also diagnosed with being. You want to share what that was all about?
Yes. My father had been diagnosed with a lot of different health conditions, and one of them being diabetes. And for those that know how serious being a diabetic is, I really watched himself decline, and he lost limbs, and eventually he ended up losing his life behind it. But I watched him take insulin, and he would be on like 3 different types of medications.
Yeah.
And just watching that and watching the struggle of how hard it is with trying to eat right and then having to rely on your medications and different things like that, that's not what I wanted for me. And so I had been diagnosed with being a pre-diabetic on top of all the other health issues that I had started developing over the years from the food addiction.
Right.
And that was my turning point, because I was determined to not be leave my son motherless and have him walk behind my casket like I had to behind my father. And that just was not going to be the life for me. I was not going to start taking insulin, and I wasn't going to start losing limbs. And I knew enough was enough.
What were some of the other health challenges that you were?
I had high blood pressure. I had high cholesterol. I had acid reflux. I had my joints would ache and my knees and different things like that. So yeah, and that was, to me, controlling it with the medication was fine, because that's the norm. That's what everybody does, and you just keep going to the doctor, and if they need to change your medications, they do, or you just get a different medication. It's like whatever's new, you try it, and that's not the way to live. And I just couldn't add on that one more thing.
Especially after witnessing that with your father.
I was determined, and because that was a huge eye opener for me. That was a huge, because my father was young when he died. He was only in his early 50s.
Wow, that is young.
Yeah, he was only in his early 50s.
We just wanted to bring Nolan on. Nolan is Metisia's son, their baby, and I can relate to Nolan because I have an 8-year-old too.
Yes.
He just had a birthday. But Metisia, this is your reason why.
Yeah, this is my biggest why. This is my main reason why. After my father passed, my son was born, and he was born the next year, and he is definitely my reason why that I don't want to take the medications, and why I can't be unhealthy anymore, because he needs me. Amen. He needs me, and it's not fair for me to leave him behind for somebody else to take care of him when I can do the things I need to do to be here.
Amen. So you showed us your why, and it's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm just so grateful that you are here for him. Yes. And that you are not back and forth at doctor's offices on medications and things like that.
Me too.
It's a blessing. You made a decision to do something that I've talked to other people about, and they had the negatives and the positives about it. But to jumpstart your weight loss, you did something that some would call drastic. You made a decision to have gastric bypass surgery, and we know the why. But why did you decide that I'm not going to go with just fitness and nutrition? I'm going to do this.
Because over the years, I had tried so many fad diets. I had done Slim Fast. I have done Phentermine. I had gone to the gym. I would walk some. I'd lose some. And everything that I did, I couldn't stick with it. I didn't have that accountability and that structure to make me stick with it. And I didn't have the right people chiming in my ear telling me the exact things that I should do and making me be held accountable for it. And so when I was diagnosed with being a pre-diabetic, my doctor, which I love my doctor, he's one of those local small town doctors. So he's really personal with his patients. And he told me that he could not let me come in for another lab and another visit and let me walk out like that. So it's like, you're going to have to get on the medicine. So I promised him I would make a change. If you don't put me on it, I will do something. And I knew that those other things didn't work. So when a friend of mine approached me about going to one of the meetings just to hear what they were talking about, I went, and I was hooked. And so I started walking down the path to get the gastric bypass surgery, and had to talk to my family about it, and we prayed on it, and that was the decision that I made.
And it was a good decision. Yes. Because you found success.
Yes.
In that. So I want to ask, basically, what was your highest weight, and then where did your weight come down to following the surgery?
Okay. My highest weight was 315 pounds. After the surgery, I would say I lost maybe 50 to 60 pounds from having my food restricted, but then it stopped and there was a halt.
Right.
Because all I was doing was my portion control like I was supposed to be doing, and that's pretty much it. So I knew I had to do something else. I knew I had to start working out, which is the one thing I hated. I can't stand working out. And so I started going to the local gym that I belong to and working on the boring treadmills and walking the tracks and then lifting a couple weights and nothing really stuck for me because I'm not a treadmill kind of girl. And so I stepped into this room that had a bunch of people in, and I was like, well, let me see what they're doing in this class. And then that was it. It was like, what is this? You know, and I only lasted for a few minutes because I wasn't conditioned and used to working out. And so I only lasted for a little while, but I kept going back and I kept going back, and I would look on the door and I'm like, when are they having this class again? When are they having this class again? And so I had started becoming addicted to it.
So what was the class?
Zumba. It was Zumba. I was introduced to Zumba. And then my weight all of a sudden jump started. And it started coming down more and more and more. So I was like, yeah, this is it. I love it.
This is wonderful. So the point is, not everybody is a gym person where, traditionally, the treadmills, the weights, the walking, none of that appealed to you. It wasn't fun. It wasn't exciting. So there's just a variety of things that you can do.
It is.
And Zumba was the one for you. But Zumba took you to an aha moment. And just a few minutes ago, you said, I hate it. I hate working out. She's a fitness instructor, y'all. She hated working out. So what was that aha moment? What led you to Wooten Fitness?
The aha moment that I had was first after moving from the back of the room to being the front row diva, so to speak. You like, if I get there late, you're gonna move out of my way. Because I'm gonna get on the road and I'm gonna get this. So I went from really enjoying it and doing it every day to saying, I can do this, and I can teach other people that are afraid to walk in this room that they can do this. They don't have to take the path that I took, and they can still lose the weight and have fun with it. So out of that was born Wooten Fitness.
Amazing.
Yes.
So we did not take you through all the points of the book. We're not going to do that. Because guess what? You got to get the book.
Yes.
You've got to get the book. But I want to, before we get into how you get the book and all those things, it talks about Metisia's life and the addiction and emotional eating, and even sharing about her father's health decline. We want to talk about this experience.
Yes.
Your aha moment led you here. What is it like for you being a fitness instructor?
Being a fitness instructor is like no other job that I've had before, because it's not a job. It's something that I thrive and I live for. And just for my students to come in and give me testimonials that, guess what? My doctor took me off my blood pressure medicine. Guess what? I have more energy. Guess what? I can do push-ups now. And all of these wonderful things, and their faces light up. Or guess what? I'm doing those recipes now that you gave me, and my family's liking it. So they're bringing they're breaking that curse of unhealthy eating in their family, and it's really changing it for them. And that warms my heart. And sometimes it brings me to tears because I'm just so excited for them that decline in their health is now going, it's better. Everything is smoothing out for them, and I love that. And I enjoy seeing the smiles on their face and the transformations and hearing the joy in their voice. And that just makes me go even harder, and it makes me realize that this is what I'm supposed to do. This is where I'm supposed to be, and these are the lives I'm supposed to touch. So it's deep for me. It goes well beyond just the paycheck of being a fitness instructor, because being a fitness instructor is not one of the most easiest positions that you can have, and being a business owner, it comes with its challenges of you getting your students and the right students. So you have to pick something that you would do free, and this is something that I would do free because I love it. Of course, I won't be paid for it, but this is something I would do free. I love it. I definitely have a passion for it.
And I saw that the first time.